It is time for the first bag update. In 2K21, I did these every once in a while, just if I change my bag up and kind of give you my thought process behind why I chose the bag that I did. In 2K23, we're going to be doing it again. But this time, I'm going to be going over fittings. I'm also going to give you the reasoning why I chose these fittings, what I'm looking to do with my fittings moving forward. And also, I want to give you a couple of different routes that you can take with this game to get all of your stats where you want them to be. So after playing around with it a little bit, where I had like a 5-wood and I took the 3-iron out and I was just doing 3-wood, 5-wood straight down to a 4-iron, I have changed it up. I've put the 3-iron back into the bag. So I'm using kind of your standard bag right now. Driver, 3-wood, 3 through pitching wedge, gap wedge, sand wedge, lob wedge. I may mess around and take out the lob wedge. We'll see. I kind of like where the bag is right now. I've been playing around with it a little bit. After playing with the 5-wood a lot, I've moved back to the 3-iron, especially knowing that you can get the 3-iron shooting like mid 230s, 240. So I'm just going to stick with the 3-iron. Still no hybrids. Screw the hybrids. Just, I feel like they're a waste of fittings and also a waste of skill points. So pretty standard bag for me. I have also changed off of Greensman. I was just rocking the Greensman quite a bit. I did find out with Greensman, if you get the right legendary fittings on a driver, you can actually get your power up to 100. It is exactly 100. Now you have to get good rolls on your legendary fittings or get good exchanges when you trade them in for power, but it is possible. I found, though, for my build, not getting the 100 power it doesn't matter to me too much because I can still drive it about 300 yards once I get my power where I want it to be with the driver. And what you get for the rhythm is just so much better. Swing path up, swing timing up, also good. Shaping's up a little bit, lie range is up a bit. You lose the transition for doing partials, but you can also build on transition if that's what you're looking for with the partials for all of your clubs through fittings. And the big thing is, losing the putt weight and putt path, but you can still get it pretty high once you get the fittings on the putter. So I felt like the trade-offs weighed slightly to rhythm, so I actually changed up to rhythm. Now, I do want to give you another option that you can do for a build, and I will go over that later, but it is the Powerhouse. But for now, let's go over the fittings that I do have for rhythm, and I'll give you kind of a breakdown of why I went that way. I also want to kind of touch on where I was at when I said the getting started video way back. I'll put a link up to it if you haven't seen it yet. But I said just trade up all the way to legendary. And I still say if you're grinding the hell out of this game to still do that, but it is a lot to get there. I currently have 167 hours on this game, and I haven't filled out all of my fittings to legendary yet. Now, it could be partially because I just had bad drops, which is the case. I've also had extremely bad upgrades where I put in 3 purples and I upgrade to a grip for the driver that's like -4 power. It's like, I don't want that. So I've had a lot of bad luck when it came to it, but it is a lot. If you're struggling and you're still trading up, definitely just start putting some fittings on. It'll definitely help you as you continue your journey up to the legendaries, and then just trade them up as you see fit to get a legendary fitting for one of your clubs. So go at your own pace, but I'm telling you now, it is a lot to get legendary on everything. See, like I'm getting this. Like I did a trade up and this is what I got. Something with -4 power. I don't want that. That's awful. Because I'm going all power. I don't want to lose 9 yards on the driver. So it's like worthless. And I've gotten like 7 of those. I'm probably falling behind because of that, but that is part of the reason. But we'll start with the fittings. Now, something I found out is when you do an exchange, so if I was to exchange like these 3, like if I was to do this and I say, yep, exchange, and I choose driver and I choose power, you are actually not guaranteed to have the max power rating. It gives you one that's, I think it's like 8 or above. I've seen some people get like 4, which is awful, and that should never happen. You're not guaranteed to get the max 12, which is what happened, to me. I traded all these up. I did the exchange, and I got one with 10 power, one with 12 power, and one with 8 power. So I can actually improve on this still, which I probably will. But for the driver, because I'm going rhythm, I went straight power. because I want to get this up to the max that I possibly can. The additional power that I can get is 6. I can get it up to a 96, which I think is a little over 300 yards for the drive, which is perfectly fine. I don't need any more than that. 300, I am perfectly fine with. And that allows me to go into, other things. Swing path, timing, transition if I'm partialing, the shot shaping, the lie range. I mean, my driver's actually in a pretty good spot right now. I'll definitely lose some as I build out more power, but you can get your driver very, very good. Just going all power always. If you're doing rhythm or greensman, something along those lines, I suggest going all power because you want to get that big booming stick off the drive to get you closer, especially on par 5s. For my 3-wood, I'm currently rocking a little bit more timing. That's just because that's what I've gotten given through the exchanges. But I do want to get more power onto this for sure. I want to get this up to whatever the max is that I can get it up to, honestly. But I want to get it up to the max for where I keep transition and shaping also in a decent spot. In my abilities video, I did say that I'm not partialing my woods too much. Switching over the rhythm and getting the 5-wood out of the bag, I'm partialing this 3-wood a lot now, at least until I get my 3-iron where I want it. So I've kind of switched some things up where I want to take a little bit more transition, keep the shaping there so I can, get the distances that I want, get the spin that I want out of the 3-wood. But I want to maximize power again, just to go for those long par 5s. I want the ability to hit those long par 5s with this 3-wood. And I'm still short sometimes, so I'm going to be putting more power into this. I'm going to probably get this to power, and the shaft, whenever I get it, I'm going to go for power as well. Just because having a big driver and a big 3-wood is huge in scoring low, especially on those long par 5s. All right, which brings me to my irons. Now, for my irons, I am still going to change this up some. I do want a little bit more power, especially on the 3-iron, because where the 3-iron sits now is 227. So I have a big gap right now in between my 3-wood that goes 249 and my 3-iron that goes 227. I want that up a little bit more. You can get that 3-iron close to 240, which is massive. But I want to get the lie range up to about as most as I can. Having 87 is good. That just allows you to dig yourself once you go out into the light rough, the heavy rough, kind of dig yourself out a little bit better. Have a better understanding of where that ball is going to go. So I'm going to try to get my lie range up. I want to get my shot shaping up. I want to take my transition down. I am not partialing irons almost ever, just because of the way distances work and the way of shot shaping that I can get. And with all of the pitches as well, I am hardly ever doing transition for my irons. I'm usually just taking full shots. I want to take this down. I want to get power up, shaping up, lie range up to the best of my ability. So that's where I'm kind of going from here with my irons. But again, I do truly think that power is king. Getting that up to as high as it will go is key. The reason I have stuck with rhythm or greensman then, though, is because while I'm trending towards getting a little bit more power, I'm not sacrificing everything else as much. I'm keeping the timing. I'm keeping the swing path. Both things that I need to be a good golfer. I'm not a robot. I can't just hit perfect straight every single time. Having the timing, having the swing path just allows me to keep all of my clubs a little bit more centralized on the course. But there will be some more fine-tuning. Shaping, lie range, power. That's what I'm going to be shooting for. Try to get this transition like this one that I have. I'd like this to be like just maybe another lie range with power on it. That'd be beautiful. So we can maybe stink away this transition. I just don't need it as much. Like if I could get something like this was really good. Give me additional lie range, additional shaping, and give me the power. If I lose timing, that's okay. I can make up for it somewhere else in my fittings, but I would like to get this up. All right, which brings us to the wedges. Now, the wedges I'm going to be changing a little bit, and this bag that I have is not going to work for everybody. The reason I say that is because I have gaps all over the place right now. 3-wood to 3-iron, big gap. Partialing the 3-wood a bit, and that's not going to be for everybody. Partialing a 3-wood isn't the easiest thing to do. So it's not going to be for everybody. I'm decent at it, so I've been okay making this change. The next thing that people are going to be struggling with if you try to model your bag after mine, my pitching wedge goes 150. My gap wedge goes 116 yards. Now, the reason I can get away with this is because I pitch a lot. I pitch with a pitching wedge. I pitch with a 9-iron. I'll even pitch with an 8-iron sometimes. I have some abilities that give me a little bit of an additional shot shaping and spin out of my pitch shot, so it works for me. And I kind of like the way that the pitch shots roll out. It allows me to actually attack holes a lot easier. So for me, I pitch shot a lot. Some people hate the pitch shot. They only do full shots. So if you're looking at this bag, you're probably like, nope. But there is a way that you can kind of even it out if you would like. So on the wedges right now, I have 100 timing and 100 swing path. This I'm going to change. It's just kind of the way that it worked out, me taking a timing bag. The timing bag, why I have my wedges for timing, is because that helps with all of the partials that I do with my wedges. Chips, flops, splash shots, especially splash shots, and partialing my pitch shots too, which I do a bit to maybe try to help it stick a little bit better. Especially if I'm not feeling too confident with a flop or the splash. I feel a little bit more confident with the pitch shot because if I really fast it or really slow it, it's not as punishing. It's still punishing, but not as punishing if maybe I'm just not feeling the flop or splash shot during a round. So I like the 100 timing. Now, if you do not like to do pitch shots or partial shots, you can definitely sacrifice maybe like a little bit of swing path, sacrifice a little bit of the timing as well to beef up the power if you'd like to do that. But I am always, for me, the way driver, 3-wood, all of these kind of play out, I am very much within 116 yards a lot in this game. Now, that might change as new courses are made for 2K23, which may change my bag some too, but I have found that I am right in this range right here quite a bit. So I'm still doing full shots a lot with my wedges. And then everything in between or outside of this, I can just do a pitch shot, which I'm confident in. I'm confident in my pitch shots. So this bag works out for me. Now, I am going to sacrifice the swing path. I do not need 100 swing path at all. I do not need 100 swing path. I would like to get more into transition because like I just said, I partial a lot. So having that additional transition is going to help immensely. Having the lie range as well helps a ton. So if I was to sacrifice something, I would sacrifice probably some of my swing path if I could, maybe even a little bit of the shaping to get the lie range and the transition. So like this fitting is a prime candidate for me to remove the swing path, maybe even remove the lie range too if I can, and beef up transition and shaping if possible. That is kind of what I'm on the lookout for right now. But now that I have like this bag done, I'm not going to, if I get one, great. I'm not going to be exchanging for this. I'm going to exchange 3 legendaries and just finish out my bag from where I'm at now. So take 1 extra for the wood. Finish that out. And then it's kind of like as they come, I will replace them. But I need to fill this out with all legendaries and then kind of build it out a little bit more from there to really fine tune it. So the next one I do with this, it's probably going to be a lot more in depth. And I'm going to be hopping very much into the weeds to update the fittings that I have across all of my clubs. And finally, there is the putter. I don't know why it has 3. I don't have 3. That's kind of weird. But next up is the putter. So this is where I sit with the putter. If you are on Master or below, so if you're playing any of those, I would go all putt weight. And if you happen to get one that has a little bit of both, put on the one that has a little bit of both on it. But I would take putt weight because I have found Master or below, the thing that affects me the most in my putts is overpowering and underpowering. So taking the additional putt weight to make sure that I'm getting a little bit closer to that perfect distance that I'm looking for helps my putting immensely. Now, if you're playing Legend, take all putt path because if you miss just a little bit, that Legend line is so small. If you miss just a little bit, that ball is 4 inches to the right, 4 inches to the left. It is a huge miss. So if you're playing on Legend, highly suggest you take putt path and use putt weight as kind of a secondary skill. I'm going to be taking full putt weight though. And as you see, I went off Greensman. I'm not on Greensman anymore. This is a rhythm build and I still have 77 putt path, 88 putt weight. And I don't even have legendaries filled out yet for this club. So you can really boost your character from a rhythm build into a build that you're really, really looking for. And that's why I went with it. It's really good, kind of even across the board, and I'm building up from there. And it's worked out really well for me. But that's my full bag. We got the driver. I'm using the Callaway Rogue. I have the Cobra LTDX for a 3-wood. I am currently using the TaylorMade P7s for all of my irons. And I have the Titleist Vokies for my wedges, which I love this like matte black. It's so clean looking. I love it. And finally, Scotty Cameron. Newport 2 is what I'm using for a putter, which you get, I believe, beating Tiger in the My Career. I'm a big fan of just flat stick, so that's what we got. We got the flat stick. But there is something that I want to go over for like an alternate build that you can do, because the build that I'm doing right now, it takes a lot of grinding to get you where you want to be. A ton. Like I said, 160 hours. There was some like farming XP courses that you could do. They seem not to work anymore. I never did them, but some people are able to build out. They built out their clubs a little bit faster. But if you're going the long route, or if you're just coming into the game and, you know, those aren't available to you now, it is going to take a ton of grinding to get your bag where you want to. If you're looking for something like me, getting that big distance while also keeping your timing and your swing path and all of the other things that you get with the rhythm build. So if you want to go the hard route, long route, I think this is a good build. But I do believe that if you want to get that power and build everything else, I do think that going with Powerhouse is a wise decision. Because with Powerhouse, you are already at a high power. 303 is the max you can get with 100. You can get to 100 very quickly with the Powerhouse. Like one of these and one of these. So what you can do is you build out power early. Get the power to where you want it. I would say anything above 90 is good. So if you can get to 90 plus with the power, do that, and then just start stacking into timing, swing path, transition, shaping, lie range, whatever you're looking for, stack into that. Because like just with one of these, like I can get my timing back up to a 68, swing path to a 72, transition 90, which is really good, or shaping up to an 88. And, you know, this grip right here has -4 power, and I still keep that power at 301. So I think that this allows you to build your power up a lot faster. You don't need legendaries. You can throw blues on here, purples on here, greens on here, and still get your power and all of your other stats to a pretty good spot. The thing is you're going to be struggling with the timing, with the swing path at first if you do end up going this route. So that'll be something that you're just going to have to go through with growing pains. I think Powerhouse has a very good spot at building your golfer out a lot faster. You're not worried as much as getting the plus 12 powers on everything. You can take a plus 11 power. I mean, that's huge. Like 11 power right here. I'm already up to a 92 on this 3-wood. So I'm 262 yards right out the gate. I mean, that's gigantic. So not having to worry about your power. You still have your power for driver and your par 5s. I think it's an easier build out and an easier fine tune. And like, shit, I got my irons. Look at this. 100 power. Look what the 3-iron goes. 240. That's massive. I'm struggling on the timing. I'm struggling on the swing path. But maybe that's something that you don't worry about too much. Maybe you do have a straight line. Your timing is really good. You don't need that. Just go the Powerhouse. You can fine tune as you go. The one thing that I don't like it for is the wedges. Like, I'm a fan of shorter wedges. Personally, I like having shorter wedges. I like having a shorter back half of my iron set too. Pitching wedge, 9-iron, 8-iron, 7-iron. So there, I mean, it loses me a little bit. But again, you can always fine tune it. You can get bags. You can get fittings that have negative power on them. Like this is a +1. Maybe you can get 3 -4s and kind of get that power down a little bit to a spot that you'd like. Power is king, especially now. So going Powerhouse right out the gate, if it's something that you're looking for, I think is an easier build out than doing the long road, which is, you know, fine tuning through getting, you know, your +12 powers and everything. I mean, that's all going to take time. I still like Greensman or Rhythm for my build. This is an alternative that I think will work great. And that's where I'm at. This is the first bag update. A lot of people have been asking for this, a bag update, and like my thought process on going into this. We had a long, like 2-hour discussion on my Twitch stream a couple of days ago, and kind of getting everybody's thought process and seeing where everybody was. It was a ton of fun. If you haven't gone over there and followed the Twitch channel, definitely do that now. Twitch.tv/RespawnTV. I'm live Monday through Friday, starting around 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you're interested in, you know, getting involved in some of those like real-time conversations, you can catch me over there. But let me know your thoughts. down in the comments. What have you chosen? Where are you attacking? What are you struggling with? What are you looking to get with your fittings? Let me know down in the comments. Also, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this. Helps me out, helps the channel out, helps getting the video onto the algorithm to get more eyeballs on it, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. Sub to the channel if you want some more PGA 2K23, tutorials. I'll be doing these bag updates as I build my bag out. The Legend 3-Click series is going really well. The Break 60 series, check that out too. And just overall general 2K23 news, gameplay, all of it. If you are interested in that, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 10,000, which is huge. If we can get there by the end of the year, that would be wonderful. I'd be ecstatic, over the moon if that happened. But thank you so much for stopping by and checking the video out today. I greatly appreciate you. I hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And I will catch you on the next one.